episode 530 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And there's no big D's. So that means the episode is going to be 35 minutes shorter this evening because we are oblivious as to the fucking tidings from the C-grade touch football in Toowoomba this week.
This is an environmentally friendly episode. It contains no diesel.
Yeah. And so look, I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows how it wins? I mean, yeah, they probably went down on the weekend without the D's. I mean, frankly, because I think I'm pretty sure he flew over on Saturday, didn't he?
He did.
So he would have missed the game.
He did.
So I'm just going to guess that it was a loss, and this trip to Perth for the Big Diesel has put the grand final, and Logie winning 30 for 30 in grave danger.
Yes.
All because he wanted to go down and fucking
well, look, you know,
quokka.
Look, I tell you, now I know how the fucking NRL journos feel. Because we don't have access to the players. Here's so you and me.
We just make it. Oh, okay.
So round 8, Saturday the 5th of August, the C-grade men's Lions went down to the questionably racist named Black Sharks, 7-5.
Wow! So that double that the Big D's usually provides would have at least got him back to level.
Well, did Diesel score a hat-trick.com? No.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, did Diesel front up and help his fucking team out in a pressure game? So that's gonna have huge ramifications on the standings. That wasn't that team one of the team that you're supposed to beat. Like they're one of the lower teams, aren't they?
I say they beat all teams. Oh no, they're running first.
Oh, okay, well, I guess there's that then. Yeah.
The Lions have dropped third.
Oh.
And the two teams above them have a game in hand. So they've had
costly trip.
Who was it that went to fucking? Was it Teddy that went to Bali after Origin?
No, it was Bradman Best.
Bradman Best, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah, look, it fucking worked out well for him. Got to play State of Origin.
I tell you, man,
long after.
I'm that fucking happy for him. Like he's the Origin comeback from Origin success story this year.
Yep.
He's having a great second half of the season.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, look at that. No fucking big D's, and we're talking about rugby league like 3 minutes into the fucking podcast. That's unheard of.
It's probably a record for 2023. I mean, I can't even remember when the Big D started injecting this C-grade touch bullshit. But I tell you, the fans are going to be absolutely hanging out for next week though, because I mean, there's an addiction there. People love it.
That's it.
So anyway, let's what we can do then is we can actually just get straight back into it because I'm fucking tired and I still am not over this fucking. I think I must have just got like the proper flu, and because it's fucking still like just feeling the effects are still there. I don't feel. I would love to fucking feel not sick. It feels like it's been fucking like a month, and it's just like with that. I'd love to have it just like without a trace of it. Like, feeling like you've got, so anyway, let's blast through this. Games from round 23, Thursday night. Fuck me, these games feel like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, I know.
I probably say that every time we do a Wednesday, but fuck, I tell you, I just scrolled down through some of the games. I was like,
I told you, I was getting the stats ready, and I opened up the women's games, and didn't blink for 1 second that the matchups didn't look fucking right.
Hey, did you see? Look, we don't cover the women's game because we don't have the fucking time. I mean, I'm watching 8 games a week. I'm not watching another fucking however many 4 or 5 games of women's. I've got a family. All right.
That's it.
Who love me. and fucking and give up enough time during fucking March to October without me adding another fucking 50-60% fucking workload on top of it in terms of just watching shit. But did you see that Cherrington fucking powerbomb tackle that she got sent off for?
Yes. Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's the one thing that I've seen that says, like, because as I've said, privately, year on year, like the first, like 2 years ago, the women's game was fine. Like defensively, they were quite tough.
Yep.
But as far as offensive skills, like it was just one out. They couldn't throw a cutout pass. There's no kicking game to speak of. Then last year it got really good, and this year it's gotten really good. But let me tell you, there's one area they haven't caught up in yet. And luckily, because I don't have any of the information in front of me, so I can't remember what the woman's name was who got fucking bombed into the fucking canvas. But if that was men's, she'd be dead.
Yeah.
She'd be Alex McKinnon, because the only thing that fucking saved her life was the fact that Cherrington did not have the strength to lift her high enough to dump her far enough down.
Yeah.
Like she pretty much got her up and then tipped her and then dropped her. Like if she was a guy, there would have been an extra probably 60 centimeters to a meter of fucking distance to pick up velocity.
She would have reached terminal velocity and gone through the earth. Fucking hell.
She would be fucking dead. Because that was pretty, like, I mean, as far as tackles go, that was pretty bad. And the only thing that would have made it worse is the strength to actually pick her right up. Instead of sort of like have her off the ground, flip her and drop her, to actually pick her up and drive her. That's the only thing that saved it from
do you know what
absolute fatality.
Would be fucking awesome? Because what the women's game has missed out on,
fatalities.
That decades and decades and decades of hits that were legal when they were made, but that would be send-offs today that can still be used in promotional material and pump-up videos and that sort of thing. I reckon they need to have advertising round where they say there will be no send-offs, there will be no penalties for shoulder charges. You've got one round, make it count. This is our advertising material. Yeah, that's it. Purge round. Fuck yeah. Yeah,
purge round. That would be the shit. But I mean, the thing is, they still for the advertising. I mean, they'll still throw out fucking Brookie Brawl shit. All the time.
100% they will.
They'll throw out fucking State of Origin. Like Trent Waterhouse and fucking Brett White. Yeah, they'll throw all that shit out.
Fuck yeah.
Even though you can't punch, you can't do pretty much fucking anything.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Like the Sonny Bill highlights. Some
people can get away with everything too. Well, yeah, I mean, like Sonny Bill, everything that he ever did was a shoulder charge.
Yeah, so
like for a fact. But anyway, so suffice to say, these games were a very long time ago, but that's okay. I'll try and remember to the best of my ability, because I could not be fucked recapping with the fucking minis today like I often do. The Roosters 26 defeat the mighty Manly Seas Eagles 16 on the Thursday night at the SCG. The Roosters tries double to Daniel Tupou. Suaalii Manu Smith tries. Suaalii 3 of 5 conversions. Manly's Schuster, Parker and Kohler with tries. Garrick 1 of 3 and a penalty goal. That's it. This game, I think, was mostly a function of just fucking 3 games in 11 days. And not only 3 games in 11 days, but also that second game on the Saturday before was the big week build-up emotional fucking dump. 2 milestones, captain's milestone, and I think that would have been a little bit of a fucking just a relief and like a build-up to get through that game and to win that game. And then I don't think they had much left in the tank. And I mean, no, ably abetted by fucking Josh Schuster doing literally nothing in the first half. Like literally nothing. And he threw a few trick shots in the second half, and it worked out fine, and got a couple of points and got him close, but fucking not good enough. And other than that, it was just there were like just moments. Every moment in the game, every little moment that could have gone, there was 50-50, just went the other way. There was a moment in the first half there where Saab out-jumped Tupou and just couldn't control the ball to score the try. Tupou scored one exactly the opposite situation minutes later. There was a time there where Manly made a break and Tupou tackled Kohler without the ball. It was the clearest fucking professional foul you ever seen in your life. Not even a penalty, let alone a fucking sin bin that it should have been. Then you had weird shit like in the second half they get like 20 minutes through the second half without a penalty or anything. The game's just like, it's a little bit of mistakes from both sides, and it's not, it's just sort of settling into a fucking rhythm. And then Toff Sipley, holds a guy down in a tackle or something and gets up, penalty Roosters. Also, there's too many penalties. You're off to 10 minutes. Like, at that stage, I think Manly conceded about 4-5 penalties in the entire game. Hadn't been any from either side for about 20 minutes. But for some reason, the game just wasn't spicy enough for Mr. MF fucking Klein. And MF doesn't stand for motherfucker, but by the way, but this fucking guy sends a guy to the sin bin because fucking, why not? And then, and I'll tell you, the creativity that guy has around managing games it's fucking admirable, which is why he keeps getting like big games as well. The way that he can win a game for a team and then just creep in some repeats and penalties and things like that in the last 20 minutes that don't affect the outcome, but they affect the stats line. So people who like a neutral or a casual who didn't watch the game looks at it.
Yeah.
And they look at it and go, oh, well, that team fucking, it was very even. No, it wasn't. I mean, there's no fucking context to it. And but look, honestly, I'll put most of the blame for this game on Schuster. Not good enough, cunt. You're lucky you're only 22. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to get fucking me, the big dog, back on board with you. I can't see it happening, because let me tell you, a little fucking taste of brilliance in 20 minutes of a game, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
I need to see 80 minutes, and in light of other things that happened through the weekend, looking forward to next year. And in any case, it's probably season over. I mean, it was already season over for the Roosters. I think the Roosters had a chance. They had to win like 4 more games in a row. They'd win 5 in a row. Now they have to win 4 in a row. So I mean, there's like a chance in quotes, mathematically speaking, and and given the crowd of teams above, it's pretty fucking horrible bottom 4 in the top 8. And so these cunts are, who fucking knows what's going to happen, but, probably curtains, but we'll see.
Tell me, what did you think of the Nathan Brown send-off?
Yeah, it was worthwhile. I think that it's weird. Like it's because I think, look, if it had have been, who's like a nice clean guy in the Roosters side. Let's say it was like, if it was Teddy.
Yep.
I don't know if he would have gone. I think if it had been like Jared Maria-Hargraves or Radley, same result.
Yep.
Someone else maybe like Butcher or something, maybe bin but not send off. I don't know. I think the send off portion of it, I think it was just one of those MF square ups that I was talking about from the referee, which is pretty over the top. I mean, because it was clearly, like obviously it was high and everything like that, but it just seemed like that his criteria for making it a send off was that he shot out of the line, and I mean that's him shooting out the line, trying to put a hit on,
shooting out the line,
gets it
but
wrong and
it
goes
was
high.
Also that he was high and he raised himself into it. That's what I've got, because I saw a lot of people fucking on about how, that's not a send off. It's questionably a sin bin.
Yeah, but I mean,
However,
we'll see later on in the round though, where someone actually missiled themselves off the ground, shoulders straight to the face, and didn't even concede a penalty.
Yeah, that's it. So,
let alone a fucking suspension. So it's really it's one of those things where it's like, depending on the round, and like I know that the referees came out after the round of action saying there was no mandate to be a crackdown or anything like that, but it fucking felt like it in a lot of these games. That like.
So here's the interesting thing, and this is exactly what you're talking about. As you were talking, I was going back through the timeline.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were right, but I didn't realise how fucking right you were. So there was the Sipley penalty.
Yeah.
And he was sin binned for that.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
and the comment was, there's too many penalties. That was why. That was the reason why. There was no warning or anything like that beforehand that I
Yeah.
heard over the.
Like there's nothing in the tackle that he made, right?
No.
So
It was literally
that
just
was
one of those
that.
ones he didn't get off quick
That was
enough.
at
Like 30 minutes or something.
58 minutes and 31 or 28 seconds was that penalty.
Yep.
Right. So then there was a set restart to the Sea Eagles.
Yep.
Oh no. So the Seagulls conceded a set restart.
Yep.
Then there was a ruck infringement by Nat Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a 6 again to the Eagles. Then there was a ruck prior to that a ruck infringement to Drew Hutchinson. Then you've got to go back, and we're looking at 49-17.
Yeah.
A ruck infringement to Aaron Woods, right? So that's just a ruck infringement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inside,
so that was a restart, was it?
Then there was inside the 10.
Yeah.
To Jakey at
Yeah.
47 minutes. So from 47 minutes and 49 minutes, there were 2 whistles blown saying, Manly, you fucked up here.
Yeah. And 10 minutes later,
and then 10 minutes later, there's a sin bin.
Yeah, it was mystifying. It was fucking mystifying.
And it'll never be fucking questioned.
And the rest of the game, the entire fucking game, fucking who was it? For the fucking Roosters. Well, Teddy was gobbing off a lot. But fuck Collins.
Yeah.
Everything that happened, Collins is running at the referee and just fucking fully gobbing the entire time.
Yeah.
Nothing ever came of that.
Oh, no, he was given a penalty.
Oh, a penalty. He conceded a penalty for gobbing off eventually. Yeah.
That's it.
Unfucking believable. But they released the thing today. I mean, because one of the benefits of the players not giving access to the media is they've got to come up with new angles and things to do to put fill up columns.
Yeah.
And one of them was today was every team's record against like who's the referee they win most of the games under, who's the referees they win the least games under, and Manly sitting at a princely fucking 36-point-something% Ashley Klein.
Oh, fucking hell.
Fucking dog. But yeah.
Well,
anyway,
here's the thing. Like we spend the majority of our time on the show talking about the performance of players.
Yeah.
Right. This cunt is Nofaluma level bad.
Yeah.
Now, let's agree that it is hard to be a referee.
And he's touched everybody too.
Yeah.
It's not not me just saying it week in week out about him.
Yeah.
Even though now I'm like, I feel like you get gaslit into not fucking thinking that oh yeah, I'm just being a ref fighting cunt, but then you go, oh yeah, you win fucking 1 in 3 games that cunt referees you. Maybe there's something to that.
So,
yeah, it's hard being a referee, blah blah blah, but cunt, you're a professional. Or not cunt. Let's not single him out. I mean, because there's been plenty of referees do plenty of dumb shit over the last couple of weeks. Cunts.
Yeah.
Just you paid very well to run around and not take any contact. I mean, you're basically professional half marathon runners.
Are you suggesting that maybe there should be like snipers in towers with rubber bullets just taking pot shots at referees to make them earn their money?
No, Ashley, it's bad, Ashley. Yeah, look, you would think that like the powers that be could just relay something to them verbally through the headsets. But if you want to go to rubber bullets, I'm all for it. If you want to go to live ammunition, I'm not going to stop you.
I tell you, look, not even that. I'm happy to draw the line at shot collars if they're good enough for fucking barking dogs.
Are they good enough for barking dogs?
I don't know. Isn't that what you use them for?
I don't know if you'd use those. I don't think real people use those. I mean, if you're trying to blood your pig dog down in fucking Woodridge for pigging, like maybe. I mean, but if you're an actual responsible pet owner, I don't think any of those collars are acceptable. Not even the ones that spray citronella in near them.
Oh fuck!
That'd be funnier though for the referees because they just spray in their face like. Just fill it with like liquid farts or something, like instead of like citronella. We just fill it with you fill it with shit that they fucking wring out of the fucking socks and shit in the locker room after games. Fresh batch from Reggie's.
Uh, love it.
Look,
Yeah, that's a big
looks
loss
like,
for Manly in the scheme of the season.
yeah, and also as much as big a cunt he is, I mean, just in terms of like warm bodies on the field, losing Lodge in like the first fucking 5-10 minutes was another massive factor, especially being third game in 11 days as well, and they've already lost now four props, top four in the depth chart. They've lost four props, so it was very fucking very tough to fucking try and come back from that. The Warriors 28 defeated the Titans 18 at Hope Solo. The Warriors 28 double to Sean Johnson, Jackson Ford, Tohu Harris, and DWZ tries. Johnson 4 or 5 conversions. Titans 18 tries to Fafita, Stimson, Jaden Campbell. 2 conversions to Tanner Boyd, 1 to Jaden Campbell.
The Sean Johnson train keeps fucking rolling.
It does.
And I am still fucking here for it.
I'll tell you, the Sean Johnson train, just quietly, is a far better watch than the Big Diesel.
Yeah.
If we're being real, I mean, the Sean Johnson train is incredible.
100% it is.
I'm saying the Big Diesel train gets you where you're going. It gets you there eventually.
Oh, look, it doesn't get you where you're going, but at least it's honest with itself about its limitations in getting you places.
So the fat controller on there is just like
this Titans team. If you look over their season and you're doing a review of it, their attack has been effective against their attack has been more effective against top 8 teams than Cronulla has. Like they have put, big numbers on some fucking big teams, and that includes scalps like Melbourne.
Yep.
But their ability to stay in a game and actually take control of a game is severely lacking. As in, then they just can't seem to get their head around, well, if we get out to a lead, let's put the foot down and really dig in and make our defence work for us and really put the other team in a doubtful position and manage ourselves to the end of this game.
Look, in this game though, I mean, they get a pass because Mo was sent off fairly smartly into the game. Like when was that? Like 20 minutes in?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
15. So look, actually massive credit to them for sort of staying in there and going to an unlikely lead as well.
Yeah.
In the first half there. I mean, once the Warriors started, the thing that would impress me most about the Warriors in this game was, unlike the Warriors of old, it was, and this is a trait that Webster's been growing and beating into them over the course of the season, is that they had great composure knowing that they had this entire game against 12 men.
Yep.
And they didn't have to go fucking stupid. And all they had to do was just keep doing their thing, because eventually fatigue would set in, and eventually and they were prepared. Visually it appeared that they were prepared to win in the 70th minute.
Yep.
And start pulling away if that's what it took.
Yeah.
And there was none of that shit. Where I mean, the Titans, I mean, did a fantastic job. Yeah, making it, like a close. I mean, they got it back to 18 all, with like
they did.
Sort of 10, 15 minutes left to go or whatever. So they didn't make like above and beyond for being down a man for almost the entire game to actually stay in it and almost have like the momentum at one point there where it looked like they were coming home to stronger. But
this is what I was saying about them as well. And I know being a man down for and everyone's gassed and they're just that little bit more tired and a little bit more fatigued. But again, even when they had that run and they got it back, I didn't feel like the Warriors were ever actually in danger, because the Titans it's almost like they throw it around. Okay, cool, your turn. They won't dig in, and again, I know what it sounds like with them being down a man, but far out, if they could only fix their defense from a week to week point of view, their attack sings. They've got fucking
Yeah.
points in them.
Yeah, and if Desi doesn't fuck up their attack, then just lets them do their thing. Then I mean,
Yeah.
They should, defensively he should improve them, depending on who he brings in, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Can I bring up a question that we were asked privately?
Mhm.
Because I know your answer, but I'm interested in, well, the listeners would be interested in. It was posed to us by a guy we know in real life. Also listens to the show, just in general chat. Do you think that the increase in send-offs this week had anything to do with the timing of Wally Lewis's announcement?
I mean, it seems, at least sort of like anecdotally, it feels. I mean, like the timing matches up literally perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
So possible. I mean, because it's been a bit quiet around Wally for a little while now, but I mean there's no question that he's considered one of the all-time greatest fucking ever players.
Yep.
So as such, he's a beloved figure, and for someone who's beloved and had a television career like Mario Fenech, for the outpouring with him.
Yep.
I mean, it's Wally's like a different level.
Yeah.
Of of person to come out with talking about CTE and what he's suffering from, and apparently it's from all reports, it sounds like it's kind of like it's as bad as what I mean, that profile on Mario they had on 60 Minutes or whatever it was on.
Yeah.
That was it sounds like it's like that kind of level.
Yep.
It's pretty fucked. Like can't remember, can't get it more than a couple of sentences out, that sort of thing. So yeah, look, probably, but I mean, why fuck like a little crackdown here, a little crackdown there ain't gonna do shit for anybody. I mean, do they feel fucking warm and fuzzy that they sent a few blokes off? Because I mean, in the exact same round, they didn't send off cunts who did worse stuff than some of these guys that did get sent off. So, like, if it was a crackdown, it was a pretty hastily implemented and poorly executed crackdown.
It does. It just reeks of being reactive.
Yeah. Well,
Because,
I mean, that's
because if like
PVL era, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Like you look at that Mo tackle, and like there was contact with the head. However, his only crime was his technique in not lowering his body to a position where he couldn't reasonably contact the head.
Yeah, look, I didn't have a huge problem with it being a send off. I mean, especially because we had like the context immediately before, like the night before with Nathan Brown. Like you put those two on the thing and you go, yeah, it's probably fair enough. But it's more the consistency of the stuff that they don't.
I'm suggesting that in weeks prior, contact to the head would be a sin bin, not a send off. And I'm not trying to make a case for which one it should be.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that previously, if you stood in the tackle and there was contact by your shoulder to their head, no shoulder charge, no swinging arm, so it wasn't late and it wasn't forceful. Yeah. It was just the point of contact was your shoulder on their head and you stood high in the tackle. It was a sin bin. Isn't sin bin.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not so much the individual application to it's the overall consistency across a large. So like you could probably get a supercut together. I mean, if I had the time, I'd do it. But you could we've got access to all the games on NRL. There's a library. You can watch a match replay for every game.
Yep.
For the season, you could do a supercut of every head high tackle that went on report.
Yeah.
In the year.
Yep.
And then you could put a quiz over top of it. What was this? Sin bin, send off, or nothing.
Yep.
And I can tell you the inconsistency that would be revealed if you watched them all back to back like that would be as bad as you fucking think it is. Like it'd be as bad as you think it would be.
I tell you, that might become my new favorite version of that game. My current favorite version of that game is
the fuck, marry, kill game.
No. Like is this a sin bin or a send off?
Yeah.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
My favorite version of that game at the moment is this Adam Sandler or a lesbian?
I'm not aware of that game. I've not played that game.
Well, it's just photos, and
all he wears is like baggy sweats and stuff. So like,
it's cut off at the head,
right?
Like you can't see like hands to give you an indication of man hands, and you can't see like bare legs, and you have to try and guess if it's Adam Sandler or a lesbian. And it's a very hard game to play,
Uh,
but it's fun.
there you go. I don't watch commercial TV. I didn't know it was on.
No, that was on social media. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on to the Panthers 26 defeating the Storm 6. The Panthers tries a double to To'o. Luai Crichton tries. Cleary 3 conversions, 2 penalty goals. Storm tried to young Tonuapea and a penalty goal to Nick Meaney.
This was a good statement from Penrith more than anything. I'm happiest with the fact that they came in against someone who will more than likely be there at the end of the season, the business end of the season, who has aspirations of finishing top 4 and a history of being able to do so. You know, almost regardless of what their end of season form looks like.
Yep.
So for Penrith to come out and they're not only that, but not dominate instantly, to actually have to stay in the game and get back to that, well, hang on, we're not in the position we want to be. However, we're not going to let that affect our rhythm. We're not going to let that affect our game plan. And then for them to go on with the game like that was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So Melbourne, to their point, look, I don't want to say rudderless, but
well, I mean, they didn't have Hughes, so I mean that would, if you did say rudderless, then it would
no,
make perfect sense.
Melbourne have never been that team where they look like they're waiting for somebody else to do something. They all look like they're ready when their time comes. They all look like, you know, they know exactly what they have to do in the lead up or as part of the overall game plan. And I think over the course of maybe 2 seasons, they've turned into one of those teams where there are a bunch of guys in there who, and you know, for good reason, because they're fucking brilliant, but they're looking to the Munsters. They're looking to Harry Grant and being, okay, fucking do something.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be here and I'll help you if I can, but you're the fucking guy. Do something. Instead of those Melbourne teams of old where it would be every man on the field surges.
Yeah.
And we all lift off the back of that. Again, I say all of this with the full understanding that week 1 of the finals turns around and then somehow Melbourne Storm just click back into Storm mode, find that extra gear, and just start putting clinical performances together again.
Yes.
I am very aware that also that, you know, us included have been there before and it's the end of Melbourne. They're done. They're dusted. They're gone. They're over. Culture's gone. Too many good players have left. Yeah. And then we get...
We're on about the third version of that now.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's probably the only risk for them coming to this end of the season is not having Pappy back now. And
well, I mean, from all reports, he got through the game up the sunny coast, you know, pretty well. So, you know, maybe in a couple of weeks, that's a different story. I don't know how quickly they try and bring him back in. Maybe start him on the bench or something like that and just try and inject him through a game. But
this is that thing, though. If you look at any of the problems that the Melbourne Storm have had, Nick Meaney's not in your top 10.
No, but at the same time, he's probably not he's not the creative force either. I mean, he's safe and does a lot of good things, but he's also not like that.
He's not a spark.
Superstar.
Yeah, that's it. Well, is Pappenhausen anymore? What's this now? Three knees?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
hey?
so
that's the thing. That's the mystery yet to be discovered with Pappy. But I'll tell you one thing though for the Storm, that fucking sequence from young Tonuapea resulting in that try was spectacular.
Yeah.
At the start of that game. I mean, the individual brilliance first to get him down there, and then just the awareness to just, instead of go what teams normally do and just, go the spread against the retreating line and actually just back himself and just sort of find a way to weave through.
Yep.
Was it's probably like the best try of the game, but unfortunately it was the only thing that the fucking Storms had to celebrate all night.
Yeah, that's it. Just very unstorm like from them. 30 missed tackles, 12 errors, 9 penalties.
Yep.
You know, that's the difference in them. That's what has brought them down to the level of mere mortals.
Yep.
Is stats like that. But Penrith again, and it was like, there was the thing with Woodsy who seems happy to give interviews on
Yeah,
any show that will fucking have him.
Yeah, Woodsy has to fucking he has to, because he's already got his media career, and now he's just cemented it because his NRL career is coming to a rapid end.
He was asked the question, how do you beat Penrith? And he said, "Oh, we have to shut down their back five." And if you look at across that game, Penrith had 500 more running meters.
Yeah.
Across that game, and they come from the start sets, the set starts that the back five give them.
Yep.
So another phenomenal performance.
The
three-peat incoming.
Yeah, it'd be embarrassing if it wasn't. The Broncos 30 defeat the Cowboys 14 up at the Abattoir. The Broncos 30 tries to Arthurs, Carrigan, Ezra Mam, Reece Walsh, Selwyn Cobbo. 4 conversions to Stags, 1 penalty goal to Stags. The Cowboys 14. A double to Kyle Felt, Lukey with the other one, and Chad with a penalty goal after missing all 3 attempts at conversion. This is a strange game. I mean, first thing you do is you take off that last try. It's like, the reality of this game was probably closer to like 24-14.
Yep.
In terms of the way that the game played. Maybe should have even been a little bit closer than that. But the Cowboys, all their tries were out wide, and Chad Townsend couldn't kick a goal. Backup kicker. With the suspension of Val, but couldn't kick a fucking sideline conversion to save his life. I mean, I can't believe there's not a better fucking option to give it a crack out there after the first one. But
what was Kyle Felt ever a kicker, or am I imagining that?
I feel like he might have.
Why do I have that memory? And a good kicker as well.
I guess you just used to see him score out wide, and you just can't remember if it was kicks or tries.
Or is this one of those fucking what's that? The Mandela effect?
Yeah, you're saying like the Berenstain Bears of goal kickers.
Well, no, I've come from a parallel universe where Kyle Felt was a goal kicker, and it's collided with this one. Oh,
Broncos were certainly deserved winners of this game. I mean, it's good to see the derby in quotes get back to sort of like the style of those games it used to be. There was a lot of feeling in it. It was a close game, well fought game. The Broncos bombed so many fucking tries in the first half.
Yeah,
like that try that Flegler bombed was like fucking Oppenheimer level shit. Like it was one of the biggest, worst bombed tries I've ever seen in my fucking life. Paddy Carrigan has gone from having no tries in 70 odd games to scoring his first one last week and his second one this week. So now he's like fucking on track to become one of the highest try scorers in the history of the Brisbane Broncos franchise. And look, credit to the Cowboys. I mean, they do have that ability to get a roll on and sort of hit the emotion when they need to, and double up and triple up on tries. And they did make it a game where they where if they had have got a goal kick there, they were they're going to try and tie it up. But the Broncos at the end, just embarrassing fucking the Cobbo intercept at the end was just an embarrassing way to fucking to take a team out on their home turf to finish them off.
It was.
So yeah, Broncos can't slide out this year. Cowboys, look, I don't think it's all doom and gloom for them, but I mean, obviously it was welcome for me that that they lost. One of the results that had to go our way and did.
Mm.
But yeah, Broncos keep rolling on.
I think more so for the Cowboys is this is one that definitely got away. It was a sloppy game by the Broncos. And when you look
they always sort of felt they had them though.
Well, if you can't put a team away that's completing under 70%,
yeah,
then and at home in a local derby, that's one that got away. The Broncos are a confidence team, and it's almost like when they've got their tail up, it doesn't matter how they're playing.
Yeah.
They're just pure energy and pure enthusiasm. But again, looking over that, Brisbane, 15 errors and 7 penalties conceded. A good team should have been able to a team that's serious about finals aspirations should be able to take advantage of that.
And I mean, the other factor in there as well is, no Adam Reynolds, which is, the level of steadying influence and control he has over that side.
Yep.
Probably eliminates a ton of that shit too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a real opportunity for the Cowboys, and especially when they're fighting for their final survival. But not good enough. The Knights 30 defeated the Dolphins 28 over in Perth at one of those teams' future homes, I'm sure. The Knights 30 tries to Ponga, Man, Hastings, Crosland, Marzu, 5 conversions from 5 attempts to Ponga. The Dolphins hat-trick to Jermaine Osako. He's absolutely fucking killing it this season. He's having a great season.
Although couldn't kick that one last week against the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a touchline conversion. I mean, by nature, that's why we give players the opportunity to bring it in under the post if they're good enough, and that's why players chase it to the death to try and prevent players from doing so, because a difficult goal kick comes from outside, and you want to, so Osako is generally a fairly reliable goal kicker, but I don't think even Hazim El Masri. You might have him kicking a touchline conversion to save your life if it was on the line. But at the same time, if you had any opportunity whatsoever to not have someone kicking a touchline conversion to save your life, and you could save your life some other way, you'd fucking take it. Like, I mean, it's not like anyone is 100% bulletproof at doing that shit.
No, not at all.
Like, no one's automatic.
That's the weirdest game of fucking would you rather ever.
Yeah, would you rather have someone kicking a conversion from the sideline to save your life, or something else? I'll take what's in the box. Well, it's Woodsy to score a try from fucking length of the field. Fuck. So did I talk about I did talk about the. There we go. Osako 1 conversion, O'Sullivan 2 conversions, and a penalty goal to Osako as well for the game. And this was one of the games where it would have been a good result for us to go the other way for my guys, and the Knights just fucking scraped it out. I mean, the Dolphins were far better than we probably spoke about, I think, on the episode previewing this game.
Yep.
I think we all thought the Knights would have it fairly. The Knights would win.
Yep.
And but look, this was a real back and forth game with the teams just trading shots, and Newcastle take the lead, Dolphins come back, and and all the way to the death. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, Ponga again. This is like probably 2 months straight now, where he's been the player that the Knights are spending their 1.4 million or whatever. I mean, he's earning his cash.
Yeah,
like the last month and a half, 2 months for sure. I mean, this is the player that they thought that they were paying for, and I mean, finally, he's taken a couple of years.
Yep.
They finally got that. So whether he can keep it up, but I mean, it just goes to show that when he does, he can actually make that side better, because I mean, they're fairly uninspiring in the halves. Yeah. But when Pong is playing the way that they're paying him to play, they can be uninspiring. They can be like, if solid is their ceiling in the halves, then that's okay, because he's going to do enough stuff to make them do stuff.
Yeah,
it's not on them.
Correct. I think you've said everything there is to say on that one.
All right. Where are we? The Sharkies 26 shocked the world, defeating the Rabbitohs 16. Also in Perth as part of that terrific doubleheader, and one of our old mates Ross was there with the grandkids.
It fucking was.
It looked great out there, and the sooner we can get it, I mean, the size of the crowd for that doubleheader as well. I mean, it looked fucking packed on TV. So honestly, while we're letting fuckwits like Greg Florimo talk about dead clubs all the time and shitholes like the Central Coast, I mean, fast track with haste the next side out of Perth.
Yeah,
fucking do it.
Yeah,
and if you've got to move the West Tigers there to do it, then look,
there's
do it.
Not much more west.
Do it. Call up fucking Anthony Wiggle.
Yeah.
Fucking wake up, Jeff.
There you
Tell
go.
him to pack up the big red car and get the fuck over to Perth. Anyway, the Sharks tries to Hiroti, Katoa, Trindle and Talakai. Nico, 4 conversions from as many attempts and a penalty goal. The Rabbitohs 16 tries to Johnston, Ilias and Tass. Latrell, 2 of 3 conversions. What are you going to say about this one? Look, it was unconvincing. It was an unconvincing game from the Sharks after what frankly shit form over the last. Fuck, I don't even know how long have they been shit for?
I want to say 7 or 8 rounds, hey, at least.
Wow, okay, that long, okay. Because I was definitely a couple, which has seen them, just plunge down the ladder and put themselves in pole position to be one of the sides that sort of drops out of that, out of the top 8. And look, unconvincing or not, this was a win against the side that I don't know if there's a loophole or not. The Rabbitohs were in the 8, I think, in 8th before the game, but by losing they went out of the 8. So maybe there was that kind of vague general the vague positioning of the Rabbits that convinced the Sharks they had a chance to win this game and could actually go and do it. But man, the story of this game is more. We keep saying week in, week out, the Rabbits, Latrell will be back and they got a couple of weeks to sort of get things going and then taper up and then make their run into final and become that team that we thought they'd be, blah, 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 blah. I am now seriously doubting whether they actually have that ability.
Yeah. No, so am I.
I don't know if they can do it.
Well,
I mean, the errors haven't changed. Latrell hasn't made any significant difference to the quality or the points that they can score.
And this is that big thing. And just before we get into that though, I just want to point this out and go back to that Broncos and Cowboys game.
Okay.
So coming into this round, who would you have said was in better form, the Cowboys or the Sharks?
Well, Cowboys for sure.
Yeah. So both of those.
They'd won 6 games before 6 games in a row, I think, hadn't they? Or
yeah. And look, I'll put this out there as well. Full admission that the Broncos have also been travelling a lot better than the Rabbits have. So the Broncos are in better form than the Rabbits, right? So, however, both of those teams came up against an opposition that on paper should have beaten them quite easily.
Yeah.
And both of those teams had an off night. So this is where, the Rabbits completed under 70% as well. They were at 66. Yeah. Their handling was absolutely fucking woeful. Again, 11 penalties conceded to 4. The Cowboys game was 9-2.
Yeah.
The Sharks found a way to take advantage of what they were handed. It wasn't as if South just rolled over and did fuck all. But this is what I'm saying, that's... Yeah,
look, there was a point there where the Sharks had the momentum, but the Rabbits had scored... They had amassed quite a substantial lead.
Yeah.
And the Rabbits just weren't good enough to fucking get it back. Also, talking about the round that we've had with the headshots and everything, we had 10 minutes in the bin for Burgess for a shot on Hazelton. I want to call him Big Country Hazelton because he looks like a big country. I don't know where he's from. He's probably from fucking the beach. I don't know, but he looks like a big country ass mule. And I would love to have him at my side. Don't get me wrong. But if you can hit a high shot on that fucking guy, then you're trying.
Yeah.
Because he's big. you got to launch to get that guy. And so I saw Sharks fans. Blowing up that it wasn't a send-off rather than a sin bin, given that we've had some send-offs this week, prior to this game. Look, someone make the supercut. I told you. I guarantee it's the hottest new game, the hottest new trivia game. Send-off, sin bin or nothing. And in this case, it was sin bin, and I think Burgess ended up getting he's in line for about 3 weeks as a result as well. So, all right, all well deserved. The Sharks have staved off oblivion for another week.
Yep.
They do have a tough run home, and they're inconsistent form. Fuck. Yeah, look, who knows what's going to happen?
Tough run home, but they're firmly in the 8. and the only team under them. Well, let's look at everyone at the moment. So currently they're in 6th, right?
Yeah, but they'd be on the same amount of points as.
They're on the same amount of points as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They've got 1 point because of a golden point, or a 1 point loss with the Knights. So the Knights are on 27 points.
Yep.
And then behind them, there's the Rabbits, the Eels, Manly, the Roosters, the Titans.
Yep.
No one's making a run. Like the Knights are in the best form of that second half of the 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Sharks aren't. They're not entrenched. They're not entrenched at all.
Not at all. Not at all. But
I mean, they could still very easily drop out.
But I tell you, I'm looking forward to these fucking previews because there's some spicy ones. There's some ones that fucking matter.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Look, fuck the Rabbits. Everything we thought was going to happen when these guys came back, like their left edge attack, is phenomenal. Yep. I would still say that it is on average the best in the competition. When they run those fucking big sweeping left hand plays, and you know what's coming, and teams are just like unable to stop it. They count the numbers, everyone's there. There is zero overlap, and then all of a sudden, there's fucking 9 men between the winger and the sideline, and Johnson's going over again.
Yep.
Latrell was supposed to add another dynamic to their attack and give them points in addition to that. Yep. And he hasn't done that.
Yep.
So, done.
Agree.
Cooked.
Okay, the Eels 26 defeated the Dragons 20. The Eels 26 tries to Miller Stephen, Sean Russell, Junior Barlow, and a double to Bryce Cartwright. 3 conversions to Mitch Moses. Dragons, 20 points came from 4 tries to Ravalawa and 2 conversions to Zach Lomax. And here's another game that highlights the fixed nature of the matches in the round. I mean, the Eels went up early. The way the Dragons came back was damning on the
yeah.
It was absolutely damning on the aspirations for the Eels, and it's why the Eels find themselves where they are on the table at the moment and not entrenched in the 8 as most people would have expected them to be at this stage of the season at the beginning. Ravalawa, great game, 4 tries. Could have got. I mean, he could have got 6.
Yep.
I mean, he came very close to getting a couple of other tries. Beast mode game. I mean, the man has absolutely lost all of his fucking marbles when it comes to defence, but he can still find his way to the try line. But the key part of this game was when the score was 20 points to 10, I think it was. It wasn't a huge amount of time left, and Jacob Little would have scored a try, but for Clint Gutherson tackling him from behind, clearly ripping the ball out when he was tackling him, probably 10 metres out or something like that.
Yep.
No action from the referees, and that was ultimately the turning point of the game.
Yep.
There was about 20 minutes left at that time. The Eels clicked into gear, scored some tries, very slowly. They snuck one in, like Sean Russell got one back. He sort of snuck one in under Ravalawa, and they just kept creeping, and then by the time they got that try to level it up, which was one of the best fucking part, like the pass from Ryan Madison to hit Paolo, and his regathering, he sort of bobbled it, and the way that he regathered it to score, just the line he ran, the pass that Madison threw to him, and then his ability to actually sort of reel it in to score the try. It's one of those tries that when he got the ball, he was just standing there by himself and just had to sort of walk over the line because it was that fucking good, like it surprised everyone, including the guy who received the pass. And then the Eels were well and truly rolled on at that point, and they got tried at 26-20. But that try to Little was under the sticks.
Yeah. Yep.
And that takes it out to 26-10. Like, and then you get Annesley comes out on Monday and said, that was that shouldn't have been that was stripped out of it, blah blah blah. Which is cold comfort to. Look, the Dragons, they're safe from the spoon. They weren't challenging for the finals. But, I mean,
Oh,
You
look,
know,
I have no problem with the false sense of confidence that this game's given Parramatta.
I still think they're gone.
Yeah, they
Like,
are.
don't get me wrong, they're still gone.
And I would like to point out the fucking levels here. So as Penrith sit down and eye the end of this season saying, well, really, who can stop us? It's ours to lose, and the only thing we have to do is maintain the hardest thing that there is to do in sport is your own focus and drive and determination when there is fucking no cunt worthy of your efforts within Kui. Like, essentially, you have climbed the fucking mountaintop, and then there's an escalator. Jump on the fucking escalator, man. Who wants to walk anymore? But as Penrith are doing that and eyeing off a three-peat, I saw exactly the same energy and celebration as when Parramatta made the grand final last year for this game, winning illegitimately with the help of a referee
Yep.
over a team that's contesting for the fucking wooden spoon. Fucking hell. Look at
Yep.
yourselves and just like fucking take stock of the sad state you're in.
Look, you look at how long it's been since they won anything. They are literally a molested fan base.
Yeah.
They've been molested by their own side's history.
Yeah. Like they even had, and imagine that.
By the uncles of the 80s.
Imagine if you were fucking molesterated and then fucking you get to see Dennis Ferguson on TV recreating himself being awarded yourself like Parramatta did with Melbourne and they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, maybe that's what broke them.
Oh, fucking hell. It's a
Anyway.
sad fucking state of affairs. But that fucking whoever was in charge of letting Reid Marnie go is never to work in rugby league again.
Yeah.
That's
and like he would have been let go without a plan too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were like, okay, he's going, but we've got Hodgson coming in.
Yeah. Or an up and comer or an anything. Yeah, fucking joke. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. The Raiders 22 defeated the West Tigers 18 in Canberra. The Raiders had a double to Sebastian Chris, Hudson Young and Timoko with tries. Fogarty 3 from 4 conversions. The Tigers 18 tries to Staines, Nofaluma and Brooksy. Appy 3 of 3 conversions. Another unconvincing game. Another one of these close games that just a slight bounce of the ball once, and the result reverses itself, and it gives the Tigpies a famous win.
I know we talk about, because there have been seasons past where by this stage of the season, teams that can't make the finals only, they ruin other teams.
Yeah.
Seasons. I can't remember a season when teams that were so firmly set on being in the 8 or in there already, losing to fucking spooners like that. Like, it's normally sort of, ninth or 10th that come in.
Well, I guess they did.
Yeah,
they didn't lose. They still got the win.
But again, it's like you said, a couple of bounces of the ball or a conversion or a penalty or.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like if like a fairly reffed game here and the Tigers win.
Yeah.
Fairly reffed game, the Eels lose.
Yeah.
Bounce of the ball, the Knights lose. Like, it's just like there are that many fucking results.
Yeah.
And those teams, if they they ended up being on the right end for the team that was close to or in the finals, but yeah, I mean the fucking chaos if they had have gone just to flip the other way slightly. But this one, like, this is Brooksy's fucking best game in ages as well. I mean, you can just see the energy, like how unleashed he is.
He can see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what he can fucking see.
He is salivating at the prospect of making his first grade debut next year. He really is.
Also reunite with Woodsy.
Well, Woodsy will be, maybe on the media. He might say hello, give him a little wave on Tuesdays when they're doing the rounds.
That was a clause in his contract.
What's that?
He said he needs his Woodsy. He said, I'm like a 14-year-old girl in Penrith. I need my Woodstock.
But look, I mean, the Raiders looked, reasonably good early. And then you had the intercept from Whiten, which brought it closer, much closer at halftime than it probably should have been.
Can I just interject with something there?
Yeah.
Have Souths been shit since the signing of Whiten? And if so, is that a coincidence?
Okay. You probably look. It's probably a coincidence. I mean, surely, right? They don't give a fuck about Whiten. They're not thinking about Whiten this year. You think it would affect the team that Whiten's at?
I'm saying that maybe there's some disharmony in the ranks.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, no one has. No one can talk to the media. It's fucking great. We can sit here and speculate all we want.
Yeah, but things still find their way of getting out, though, right?
True. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this game. There was the main sort of talking point or controversy, which is what I was talking about, and have a fairly reffed game, was when the Raiders scored that first try in the second half, when Whiten threw that the pass to Sebastian Chris,
yep,
that put him into space, clearly forward, and then he just sort of burned it and sort of went back and back into the middle and scored a try. I guess they miss forward passes all the time, but some passes are more forward than others, and you expect better.
Yeah,
line balls. You can kind of just go, look, they kind of go both ways, and you get some, you miss some. But
it's one of those things where, when you think about it, the rule was fucking never designed for television. It's like the fucking Second Amendment and semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah.
I know people try to fucking get them to go together.
Yeah.
But any fucking idiot can see it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, do you remember there was that company? I reckon it would have been about 3 years ago.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't remember 3 weeks ago.
Okay, no.
Tell me anyway. Maybe you'll jolt something.
Okay, Wally. There was a company, and they came back and they said they went to the NRL and essentially said that by using the same gyroscope tech that's in iPhones.
Oh yeah, so you could actually plot the
we can tell you exactly where in a space the ball is, and we would essentially have a zone that was the field, and you can tell us how high you want it, and it'd be used for things like did the ball break the plane, all of that shit, and we can tell you if balls went forward. And so it's not did they go forward, but they would be able to measure essentially if the ball was
where it
passed,
left from and where it arrived to.
No, not even that. But it could calculate the speed that the ball was travelling at and the momentum that the ball already had at the time that it was passed.
And so plot the forward drift that would be allowable.
Exactly. And
to make it,
to say, so okay, well, did it maintain momentum expected by being passed in a backwards direction?
Yeah, and there's no way that the NRL couldn't, through one off season of testing, develop like a criteria that was a framework for which a pass was acceptable, and then and what the boundary was when it became not. And
if they were smart, they would have set that up and not fucking told anybody.
Yep.
But what it came back as was apparently under. I don't remember if they trialled it in some Reggie's games or whatever it was and then got this, or whether it was just anecdotal that they said the reason they didn't do it was because they were afraid that so many passes would be forward that players would essentially have to relearn passing techniques from the ground up.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, because how is it assessed then when it goes off? Does the ball start flashing red? Or does it trigger a thing like in the headpiece of the touch judge who makes the call to the referee, or goes to the referee, or goes to the bunker? Because then it would. Because when you do have the technology to be so absolute like that, can you imagine how many times hookers are going to get pulled up for that shit?
Exactly.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
25% of the sets
Yep.
are going to turn over because the hooker throws the ball forward
Yeah.
in a manner that's not, that. So look, but I guess like any rule, I mean, like the crusher rule, when a player backs into a tackle, players know now to sort of, loosen their arm so their head pops free and doesn't get caught and bent, towards their chest.
Yep.
So, I guess you make the adjustments.
Yeah. That's it.
Look, I mean, I'm always a big believer. Like people talk about the bunkers and everything. Oh, it takes too much, takes too long and everything. Like my problem with the bunkers is when they are looking for an excuse to disallow something and they come up with some bullshit reason against all evidence presented in front of them. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you could tell me that you've developed a scientifically sound method to determine what a forward pass is every time with 100% accuracy, then you take the fucking chaos for the first couple of weeks until people, because they're training with them all the time. Wouldn't take, these are professionals. I mean, it's like that game. What was that game that Manly were playing a game? Was it a game against the Sharks and they were running into a ridiculous fucking wind in the first half, and so they had to pass the ball on a different trajectory because they had to almost pass it forward because it was getting blown back 2 meters.
Oh, shit.
If they were doing a cutout pass, from like if Daly was passing it like to Saab on the one pass, it would get blown back so far. So they were making adjustments on the fly to the passing so that it would actually land in the right fucking place. And it took a little, and it took like a little while, but it would be the same for this. The players they'd be training with them every session. They'd soon figure out really quickly what the fuck it was. The only thing is, I think, in my opinion, you'd probably want to not have them doing something that the fan at home can see.
Yeah.
When it pings forward.
Yeah.
Because I think there would be early on, I think there would be a detrimental effect on the quality of football, the quality of the spectacle, and maybe the referees might want to use their discretion and maybe adjudicate it on it if it's a pass, the last pass on a sweeping movement that goes forward and puts a guy into the corner. You call those ones back.
Mm.
But if it's like the hooker or something and it's just like this line ball sort of thing that visually, sort of passes the test a bit, maybe you go, look, for the first couple of rounds, you're going to let that shit slide a little bit because, it's a lot. But,
Fuck yeah.
Do your socials. Let's go.
Let's go. We'll start off with the best of the replies we got on Twitter. Our old mate at maddog_nospace. He said, do you think the aliens aren't attacking Earth because they are worried about what Reece Walsh will do to their spaceship defenses?
Shut up, fucker.
I can only suggest by that you mean that he surely has some weird fucking kinks. And I would say to you that no, aliens have developed interstellar kinks that you and I have never dreamed of. And so any weird fucking gross thing that Reece Walsh would do to the exhaust pipe of their spaceship, they've probably already done themselves. Phil, who is...
and also, you look at rugby league, you look at rugby league players as a collective group, and you look at Reece Walsh as a member of that collective group. You're not telling me that he's the one doing the fucking on any situation.
Yeah, no.
If all of the NRL was thrown into prison, end of week 1, he'd be the loosest cunt in jail. I'm telling you for an absolute fact.
It would sound like an oboe every time the cunt sat down.
When you get these players that they're not gay, but like plausible deniability that they can sleep at night.
I'll tell you what,
Walsh is the guy they turn to, right?
That's it. If I'm an NRL player in jail there, I want to reach around and feel the warming sensation of some eyelashes fluttering in the palm of my hands. Phil, who is at Rhino Coach, obviously the official coach of the Leeds Rhinos, he says, is the annual crackdown late this year? Is it a crackdown if not all the refs got the memo? Yes, we've already been over that. At YouthWork13, he said Ryan Carr is super likable in press conferences. Hope he can kick on as a first grade coach one day.
Oh yeah, one day.
One day.
What's he doing? Is he going to be on the staff for Flanner, or is he?
You'd hope so. You'd hope so.
Well,
'Cause
who cares really? I mean, I don't know the guy.
no, I just yeah.
Yeah.
Our mate Hammers, and again we've been over this one already, but pretty hard to cop a 17th minute sin bin when similar or even worse incidents occur later in the round without the same punishment. The lack of consistency across the league, but specifically towards the Titans the last 2 months, has been a real kick in the dick.
Come on now.
Well,
Tino fucking knocked cunts out for weeks and weeks and weeks before he got done for it.
yeah.
Come on.
And
everyone gets their breaks.
We've been over a couple of other clubs this week that have had the fucking good old Annesley apology the week following a loss.
Yep.
So the world does not revolve around the Gold Coast Titans. Nothing revolves around the Gold Coast Titans.
Except the Southeast Queensland ice trade.
Look, I tell ya.
And maybe tattoo industry.
Being fucking blue and yellow in colour is not the only thing you have in common with Parramatta. You fucking never to win anything frauds. At Simon Griffin JP, he said it's Panthers competition to lose. Fuck the Broncos, but they are playing good footy. Warriors won a poorly played game. We never used to do that. The NRL's biggest problem, but it doesn't ever stop us watching, is officiating. That's a pretty good roundup. Dean K88, he said NRL scripting Eel South as winner takes all in the final round would be best for business.
Is it East South or Eel South in the final round? I thought East were playing them in the last round.
Oh, who knows? Who fucking knows? That was our Twitter roundup. Let's see.
I got the social media take of the week.
Go for it.
It comes from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there that Penrith Panthers are the most boring fucking side in not the history of the game. I think Melbourne had their time when they were the most boring side, but in recent history. Now, I want to be clear before people take things too literally. There's no disputing the quality of the side.
You can be boring and also
there's no disputing the success of the side. I'm not saying they've been given anything. All I'm saying is that it's so fucking boring. Just roll, try in a corner. Roll, try in a corner. Roll, try in a corner. It's all it fucking is. You go back and I'm talking strictly from an entertainment standpoint of like watching great tries and blah blah blah. There's zero. I mean, you even think back. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Panthers fan. Panthers fans see things differently. When your team's winning, it's fucking great, and you don't care, and that's obviously, but you can't even think of any spectacular highlight tries that they have scored in this entire fucking reign. You know what the most spectacular highlight try they've scored in this entire period of time is?
What's that?
Stephen Crichton.
Which one?
Intercept grand final.
Look, they're just...
That's the most spectacular try and most memorable try
just
that they've
off the top
scored
of my
in
head,
3 years.
There was the one where fucking Tungor fucking had 97 tackle busts and palmed off 4 people against the Dolphins the other week. Talk about individual fucking brilliance. There was Moses Leota fucking storming there.
So these like that the Tungo one was good.
Fucking, are you not entertained? Huh?
I was entertained by the Tungo one, but that's okay because you need these exceptions and outliers to prove the rule. And look, I know what the Panthers fan base are like. I mean, like when the most rational member of a fan base is Stepdad, it's a fucking indictment on what else is lying around out there.
Look, I get it, and I don't disagree.
And look, and it sucks that there's no one out there under the current laws, under the current rules of the game. Like Melbourne Storm had a similar thing and no one could do anything about it until Manly figured out how to do something about it, and then then that came into that era. But they still had to score some fucking tries to actually make it happen. At the moment, the team that forces the Panthers out of it doesn't exist. I don't think.
Not the team, but they do. Like there have been teams that have laid the blueprint. The Broncos have done it to us a couple of times. Parramatta did it. It is you must get physical with Penrith early
Yeah, but you have to also maintain it for like
And
80 minutes as well.
I would suggest it's 2025 and put them under so much fucking pressure. You need to outmanage them. And no one's got a game plan to do that.
Mm.
That's the difference. That's not even a warm take because I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Well, fuck, that went different the way I thought it was going to go in my head.
No, well, again, you said at the front, you're not disputing the greatness. You're not disputing.
Yeah, exactly. Because because the thing is, I mean, like, I had to clarify that stuff straight up because, when it comes to Penrith fans, you can do something like you can put a thing out on Twitter and go excited next year for 40-20s for Manly because you look at the top 5 40-20s in the competition and Lachlan Croker's got a couple, Daly's got some and Brooksy's got some and like 3 of the top 5 are playing for Manly next year.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about Penrith in that sentence, right? But you can say that.
Fucking hell.
And you will get 20 replies on Twitter. It's just the fucking fan base that we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
You go, oh, congratulations, Daly, you've on 300 games. Nathan Cleary got 2 periods.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
You're right.
Listen,
they shouldn't bring Nathan into that at all. They should stick to the fucking obvious reasons why Daly's a fucking absolute blight on humanity.
Reach 300 games without fucking growth hormone. Challenge. Expert level difficulty for you, Nathan. Now, games this week.
Before we do that, let me just finish off.
Some news. Oh, sorry.
The faces.
I thought you finished faces.
No, that was our Twitter people.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Cathal, he said, I've been really impressed with him in recent weeks. Curious to know what you all think. Is Ponga finally starting to live up to the hype? Now, this is why, that was partly why I asked you that question before about Souths and Whiten. Because now that Ponga has seemed to be doing exactly what he's there for and being paid to do, the Knights seem more harmonious as a group and they're winning football matches.
Oh, and remember, like, O'Brien as well, like he was going to get sacked and all this shit. And, and they actually have apparently tried to, they interviewed Desi before the Titans got him. Like there have been attempts that, and wow, look at this. When the player that you pay all your money to does his job and you've got players that are good enough to, to do their job to some sort of level, look at what happens. I mean, I don't think they're going to be, super deep in the finals or anything, but I mean, they were challenging for the spoon at one point.
Yeah.
And if to even make the finals is a massive success.
Cody asked a question about the Gutho tackling Little, which has already been over. You're 100% right. Yep. Again, doesn't help it.
And look, my feelings about Dragons and stuff. I mean, like I'm not Glenny, but the way they fucking menstruated themselves the week before about that Manly game. I mean, look, I got to tell you, the one hard truth that governs your lives and your entire existence and your happiness and your mental health is that Matthew Ridge was not tackled, motherfuckers, on that day in September in 1996.
I just want to go. I'm going to channel some fucking real dad here. Scott's come in with a fucking burner of a comment saying that it's paraphrased from D20. If you know, you know. So I know what D12 is.
So what's the thing?
So he says rules are just a construct made by the dominant clubs in any given league, and the refs are just a force sent in to uphold the status quo of the ladder, with threats of the ridiculously inconsistent calls under the guise of game management and a judicial process that punishes players who stand up the league's predetermined narratives. Basically, an occupying police force dictating who gets the fabled rub of the green, the chocolates after the win, and provide content mills for the media that run through the losers and tear them to pieces in sometimes absurdist fashions.
Okay.
It's a fucking great comment, but what's D20?
It is great. It is great. Look, if I had to guess what, and this is not my world, so I don't know, but like the only thing I think of when like you said D12, and that is one of the things my mind goes to as well. But the other thing is like a 20-sided dice, like in like a role playing, like is it like a Dungeons and Dragons thing or like some sort of role playing thing?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's all I could imagine. How that relates to it though, like that quote, I don't know. I don't know what the original quote would be, and like it's probably about some fucking orcs or something. I don't know, but
He's like, again, from a certain point of view, he's not fucking wrong. Exactly like you said before.
yeah.
Melbourne essentially went, well, no. Here is our interpretation of the rules,
Mm-hmm.
and so by technically being correct, we're going to force you to adjudicate the game this way.
Yeah.
He's not far from wrong.
Yep.
Jared, his hot take was Para and the Roosters won't make the 8. Canberra will barely scrape in. Josh,
Correct.
all of the unhinged refereeing this season aside, is this the most contested comps ever? The fact that a team winning or losing a single game jumps them anywhere between 1 to 6 spots on the ladder is a testament to how close it is. I agree, and I fucking love it. Like, these games fucking matter. For every try matters in these games.
I agree, and I have to put an alternate point from a mate of mine, Ryan. He put on Twitter the other day, and I'm glad you said that one there because like I just had to go through his timeline to find what he said exactly, and he tweeted out on the 5th. The closeness, in quotes, of the NRL ladder this season is misleading. The actual quality of the games this year has been well below par in previous seasons. Even the top teams have been objectively poor.
There you go.
So he's putting, like, I mean, he's not saying that takes wrong as far as like the closeness, but he's saying it's because of poor quality overall.
Okay, nice. Robert, he said the Eels weren't good enough. However, every try bar one being scored over the top of a young winger on debut offers some solace. There you go. John.
When you've been molested by an uncle fucking 30 odd years ago, anything gives you solace. A little ride on someone's knee gives you solace, right?
John said Raiders an exceptional team, made the Wooden Spooners look like contenders in the run home. Whilst we
come
won,
on, I think we've moved past that gronkery, haven't we?
Well, he's a Raiders fan, so I think he can.
Yeah, I mean, like people used to say that stuff when you'd read out comments on game threads.
So,
I mean, I feel like we've entered a more enlightened age.
Oh, look, I'm happy. I'm happy. People want to have their comments on their team. I'm happy to give it to them.
Yep. No.
Here we are. Richard, I really can't hate this current Broncos team. Do I need help? Yes, you do. What could possibly bring back the hate, seeing as my team is shit and they're not going to make me hate them beating my team in a big game?
Who was that? Who said that one?
Richard needs reasons to hate the Broncos.
Look, look. They're playing an attractive brand of football. I give them that. I mean,
let me answer your question very quickly because you see you're off on this wrong tangent here. Actually, talking about the team.
Okay.
The reason to hate the Broncos has actually
because of the Broncos.
Well, no, it's not only that. It's not because of the Broncos, and it's never even really been of the Broncos. Across the history of the Broncos, they have had some fucking phenomenal players.
Mm-hmm.
Like phenomenal players, like actual fucking hard cunts like Tony Carroll, who and you would take them on your team,
Brad Thorne,
in a fucking second, right?
Yep.
Like amazing halves.
Johnny Plath.
Whenever they've had hookers there, they've
Shane
fucking
Perry
worked their fucking guts off. Like Mick DeVere and blokes like that. The reason to hate the Broncos is because Broncos fans are in reality what the Big Diesel wants St. George fans to be. Right? That's why you hate the Broncos. Because every time something bad happens to them, the ripples of fucking karmic justice that go through to some of the shittest cunts on the face of the planet just gives you faith that the universe seeks equilibrium.
There's a million things to hate the Broncos for, and like it doesn't just get washed over just because fucking Reese flaps his little eyelids at you. Now, it's for the same reason that like the Melbourne Storm. I mean, like Harry Grant, like Pappy. Let's say Pappy. Yeah. He seems like an enormously likable young fella.
Yep.
It doesn't change the fact that in 2007, 8, 9, 10, these cheating cunts almost like toyed with the integrity of the entire fucking competition. They one little team with the some little youngsters like Ezra Mam or whatever that play the game with some joy and skill. It's not enough to fucking overcome generational cuntery.
Yep.
It's just not.
That's it.
Like if they, in 15 years, if they do, maybe you go, oh, look, those kids aren't so bad. All the thoroughbreds dead. The world's, rebuilding. But we're not there yet. That day has not come. It may never come. Hashtag fuck the Broncos.
There you go. What are the news?
That's it for the socials.
That's it.
News. Oh, what is the fucking news though? That's what I ask you. What is the news? I didn't even look at the news. I can't watch it. Like I couldn't watch those 360 shows previously, but now I can't even read the headlines generated.
There really is no news per se. Like the big news in the sport this week was Wally and his coming out talking about the fucking horrid reality of early onset dementia caused by CTE, which like chills me to my very fucking spine. And knowing a couple of people that work in that industry, and this is fucking gross solace anyway, is essentially that the person with it doesn't suffer, the people around them do. But then I also had another person that works in the industry that said, yeah, fucking bullshit, they suffer and it's horrid. And no one deserves to go through that. There you go. So, who knows what that means.
There's the Payne Haas situation where they've offered him $1.1 million a season for a 3-year extension, which he has allegedly rejected.
Yes.
And or at least at the very least he's holding off from signing. Allegedly being mentored by Sonny Bill Williams, which probably tells you everything you need to know about how these contract negotiations are going. But I saw something today, and I don't have the quote, so I can only just paraphrase what I heard, was that he will consider signing with someone who's also going to see about setting you up with a job after the game.
Say that again.
Like he wants to sign with someone that's not just for the rugby league contract, but someone's going to hook him up with a job post playing career. To which my reply is, you got a 3-year deal on the table.
Isn't that what Robbie Farah got fucking suspended for?
Yeah, if you promise. Yeah, I think and that was Pascoe got suspended for that, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was for something about promising him a job after. Was that as a carrot for early retirement or something? Or
well, it was essentially undeclared benefits, or however they phrased it, in negotiating a contract.
Yeah, I think the more, whatever the legality of that may be, bro, you're 23 years old. End of 3 years, you're 26. You're still not in your fucking, a generally accepted prime for a fucking front row at that age. You don't have 3 years in a job after the game to worry about. You've got another fucking 10 years, injuries willing.
Yep.
And then worry about the game. The good job after game. So.
Or is that more of a comment that he doesn't see that pathway at Brisbane?
Yeah. No, probably. I still think at 23 and you're getting offered the biggest contract in Brisbane Broncos history. You look back through Brisbane Broncos history.
Yep.
And obviously a lot of these wages would probably be higher if you adjusted them for current day inflation and everything.
Yep.
But still, numerically speaking, you're getting a contract that exceeds Wally Lewis, Darren Lockyer, immortal level fucking players.
Yeah.
Mate, you're doing all right.
Yeah, that's it.
You dare I say, you're doing financially as well as a front rower can do, and you're close to mum. She can't move with you.
Yeah.
For reasons.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Hey.
So I just think that Sonny Bill's great in the way that he sort of obviously preaches a brand of player empowerment and get what you can and short career, get the money while you can. I get it.
Yep.
but I just feel like that, sometimes with the way, whether it's coming from him, but I mean, you look at the way
Does
that,
that?
you look at that situation when he just took off from the Dogs. I mean,
I was going to say,
there are ways to negotiate things and ways not to
is that
negotiate
a
things.
little bit of the Sonny Bill thing? You know, thinking he's fucking far too clever, or a lot more clever than he is. Where he's like, look, you got 1.1 here. Let's see if there's more money out there, but you can't say that. So
Yeah,
you have to say something not money related so people don't think you're a fuckhead. So just say you're looking for somewhere with a pathway to a career after footy. Just say that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Back to,
Brain geniuses.
oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Um, Tell me, what are your thoughts on your new recruitment manager?
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay, so everyone's reporting it as if it's done. Let's say it's
Yeah,
happened. So
yeah. Look,
for those that don't know, um, the Warren McDonald, who was the recruitment manager at the Tigers
mhm.
and was there as a long time associate, confident, and potentially lover of Tim Sheens, was unceremoniously fucked out by the club and their internal bitter feud that's played out in the media between the two camps, has taken the job of the guy that replaced him at Manly as their recruitment manager.
Yeah, I don't think. I think he's going to actually. We've already got a recruitment manager, so I think he's going to go in more as like a pathways kind of guy.
Okay.
But and which I have no problem with. I mean, he's the guy that brought Jareem Buller to the Tigers. He's the guy that discovered Mitch Moses, Tedesco, Benji.
Yep.
That's how long he's been. I mean, like, so if if he wants to identify players from Campbelltown and bring them over, then fucking great.
Beautiful.
Honestly, it's a bit of a nothing burger. I don't know much about the guy or anything, but I do know that I mean, yeah, maybe he was the guy that discovered Woodsy as well, because I know he discovered the rest of the big three. So, look, and if he delivers us a fucking Tedesco or a Buller or a fucking Mitchell Moses or something over the next couple of years when we need to replace the fucking halfback, when
more
Daly
power to you.
retires, fuck, great, go for it. Bring us those fucking Australian schoolboys players from fucking Campbelltown.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, yeah, because obviously, yeah, he had to make way for. Well, I heard that when he went, the Tigers actually kind of nulled off some contracts that he'd signed for a couple of players that played for the Australian schoolboys side from out the Campbelltown way. So, because Fulton had to clear out spots for the Tartak bus.
Now that's a segue into the next news article. The reporting on Manly at the moment is, so there's $5 million salary cap squeeze.
Yeah. You're what you're doing now is you're reporting on NRL 360.
No, well, I'm just saying that the
Yeah.
this is the Schuster issue.
Yeah, I mean, Schuster's not getting $5 million.
He's not, but he's on $800K.
Yeah.
Next year.
Also.
Next year, not at all this year.
Yeah.
This is all next
so there's
year.
there's actually a real article with quotes that follows this up.
Yep.
Where they say there's whispers.
So
there's whispers that there's an impending cull on the Northern Beaches. There's no whispers. There's James Hooper saying shit on NRL 360 and Michael Carianis and whoever else is on that fucking show.
Well, what they've got is the big name players taking up more than $5 million is DCE on 1.2.
That's wrong.
So what's he on?
Next year he's on half of that.
So he's taking a pay cut next year.
The next 2 years. We've been through this. How
does that get past the NRL then for a player that's on over $1 million now to all of a sudden be on half of that?
I don't know. He's taken a team friendly snip because he wants to win and he wants to to get more players in there. And I mean, how do we get fucking Luke Brooks on fucking 50%?
Well, the Tigers would be carrying some freight.
No, they're not. His contract's up at the end of the year with the Tigers.
Oh, that's right. He was trying to renew then, wouldn't he?
And he was getting 1.15, and we're getting him for $650.
I would suggest that it's not that hard to say that that's his current value.
Yeah, well,
However, DCE to take a 50% pay cut. No one's
yeah,
suggesting,
it's probably not 50%, but I mean, it's like, yeah,
except
it's
me,
not, yeah.
that he's overpaid, which I'll fucking do till the day I die. But well, anyway, you got DC on 1.2, Tommy on 1.15, Jakey on 950, Hamoli on 600k, and Brooks coming in on 660.
Yeah, and they say like, and they're saying in that article, like they're acting like that 600 isn't like the extremely average fucking salary of a top NRL player, if not under, in this day and age, you know. But they also say they're saying that like we have to cut all these players because we bring in like Luke Brooks and Jackson Polo and stuff like that. But
so yeah, you've got
as a response,
players off contract.
So as a response, you've got the staff writers or fucking the NRL 360 panel of fucking dickheads just making up figures out of their asses. So then Mestrov, the actual boss of Manly, just come out and said, and with quotes and everything like that, saying we sent the Fainus to the Tigers. That saves $700,000. Daly, he mentions Daly's new deal is less than his current deal. We're under the salary cap for next year. There's some couple of clubs struggling with roster management. We're not one of them. There's lots of rumours. He said we're tight for roster spots next year. So meaning like top 30 or whatever.
Yep.
But it's not money. It's just like 30 slots. So he said no players been told to leave. That they need to leave the club. They freed up a ton of money from the Fainus, so they've used that money to upgrade guys like Kohler and Paseka, upgrade and extending Hamoli. They're using the money to bring in Brooks. They don't have to move anyone on for the cap. And he says it's like we're sick of hearing about players being squeezed out and that we have cap troubles. So it's not true. I want to set the record straight. I mean, there's a couple of players that are off contract, and so if they go, it's not like they've been told to go. They're just not renewed.
Yeah,
guys like Aaron Woods and Morgan Harper and Morgan Boyle.
Yep.
And not only that, the business around what they're going to do with Matt Lodge, allegedly, is fucking great. Because I mean, he did his ACL, in that Roosters game, so he's going to be out for half of the season next year. And so there was initially reports from people going, "Oh, they're going to sign him to a fucking 2-year deal or something."
Yep.
And when the guy's out for nearly a year, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. But even then, Mestrov said, "Look, we want to do what's in the best interest of him and the club." He's shown enough to indicate he'd be a good addition to the squad. So they're going to put him on as a train and trial next year or a development squad contract next year. And then if the deadline to bring players into the top 30 and is August the 7th or whatever, like it is this year.
Yep.
Then he'll be back from the ACL by then. You can bring him in and go from there. And so you paid him fucking train and trial or dev money, which is fucking excellent business.
Which is, and that's the way to do it as well. That's smart business because then you're essentially saying, well, yeah, he's fucking busted. So that's why he's on a train and trial. They're not answering those questions that they've got now about, well, hang on, he was on $600K, $1,000 below value.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like they massively got $3,000 worth of value out of him in the two and a bit games.
That's it.
Excuse me. So now was there something else?
Look, in terms of news,
again they're saying the RLPA thing might be signed as soon as tomorrow.
Nice.
So Abdo, Clint Newton, Volandis all got into a room. And apparently Volandis says he's hopeful that if it continues this way, by kick-off tomorrow, we might have a resolution.
There you go.
So, there you go. So they'll put an end to that shit.
Yep.
And everyone will be happy.
Here's the interesting thing. I saw an article. It turns out that the NRL actually funds the RLPA to a large extent.
In what way? I thought it'd be like anything, and they'd be players that would pay dues or something.
They do, but there was an article on it was 8 days ago in the Herald, and the first couple of lines is the NRL is privately weighing up whether it will stop funding the Rugby League Players Association. The RLPA receives $3 million from the NRL each year to run its operation, with $15 million set aside for the next 5 years under the proposed collective bargaining agreement. NRL players do not pay fees to be part of the association,
Okay.
as it is not officially a union.
Honestly, I mean, they should be
So
lucky that they exist because, like, it's. I mean, when you're negotiating against yourself for the financial future of your business.
now this is the thing, and this is the base of my fucking issue with this circus, is that it has just been so fucking clear that old mate Newton's in there, not really, players. Well, no, he's there for his fucking job because he needs to
But I
make
mean,
sure
like,
that he's there.
even if players pay their paid dues,
They'll all pay.
I mean, he's
It
still
won't
getting,
hurt him.
yeah, but he's still getting paid to do that job. Like, where the money's coming from?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So, and it's not like it would be a great thing. So, like, what have we got now? 17 teams times 30 players. That's 510. That would work out. It's $6,000 a year per player
right.
to give it this same level of funding.
Yeah,
that it gets now.
Yeah.
So that's
and you just push and pull that, the sort of sliding scale or whatever based on player income or something. You come
exactly.
up with a figure where,
yeah, you'd give a low income discount and a veteran fucking premium, whatever the fuck you call it. And there you go. So
yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. And look, I don't know. Maybe it's because I spent far too much time in those big fucking corporate ones.
Yeah.
But that would have been the first thing I put on the chopping block. That I would have said to the players, I'll give you everything you want, but I'm not funding that cunt anymore. What do you want? I'll give you all risers. I'll give you a fucking expense account for your mums. Even you, fucking Payne and Nico.
Give it a fucking lifetime supply of cigarettes, fucking or whatever currency.
I'll sign off on the script for fucking the Aussie version of Orange is the New Black, starring Nico and Payne's mums. But yeah, fucking good riddance. Let's put all this shit behind us and get on with it.
Yep. So hopefully all done by the time you listen to this show.
Beautiful.
Ready. Games. Okay, Cowboys with the bye. Thursday night, Mighty Manly Steve's Eagles take on the Penrith Panthers at Brookvale Oval. Obviously, Matt Lodge is out. Kepi comes in for him. Panthers side.
Big outs for the Panthers.
Well, full strength Panthers. I mean, I'm just looking over their team list and I can't see anyone there that shouldn't be there. Kyra continues his excellent season as the first choice 5'8" in the side. So yeah, down on troops. The Mighty Manly Steve's Eagles. They're digging deep. It's all on the line. It's probably not season on the line time yet, but if they could jag this one, geez, it would fucking help them out.
If you can, it makes up for dropping last week.
Yeah, and obviously, and if they do, it's probably the biggest upset in the fucking history of the game, given the fact that Panthers' strength and advantage in this game runs through the forward pack, and we're missing literally the 4 top props from the fucking power rankings in the side. And let's face it, and look, let's be real, only 2 of them were any good anyway.
I was just about to say, let's put some perspective in that. Ashley Klein is top 4 in the power rankings and current referees. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, now, Jared Sutton's referee, which is fucking horrible for us.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, he hates Penrith. Fucking hates us.
Yeah, he fucking hates us too, though. So
let's go.
Anything with a fucking Sutton on it hates us. I don't know what we did to those cunts, but let me tell you, anything with a Sutton on it, Chris, fucking any of them. I think Chris is our. Oh no, he's our second worst one. Klein's our worst one. But look, thank fuck it's not Ashley Klein. Look, it's really if they win, it's just because they fucking jag it just with like they force Penrith into playing poorly, and Penrith has a down game and they capitalise on that sort of shit. The one change that I like about the side, I mean, everything in this side is forced through injury pretty much in terms of personnel, but the one thing that I do like the idea of is starting Ben Trbojevic instead of Tuolangi, not only for his defence. I mean, Trbojevic, he's an 80-minute player to start with. So Tuolangi, when he comes on, he can just be pure impact. But also, the game against the Roosters a month ago, Manly won that game because Schuster threw a fucking no-look pass to a player who he's thrown no-look passes to since they were running around as little fellas.
Yeah.
On a line that he has always run since the time, since they were walking. So if for no other reason, if Burbo can actually just trigger some sort of core fucking memories and comfort level for fucking Schuster to remind him of who he is, and to, and if that somehow like acts as some sort of like a talisman to make him play better, and you know what, not even play better, just fucking play. Just fucking play, cunt. That's all you got to do. Just fucking play. Because you're naturally a brilliant player. When you play, you just make shit happen, like what happened in the second half of that game against the Roosters. I mean, it just fucking happens. You've got to fucking play. Let's just do it. Like, fucking do it. And then, take some of the fucking pressure off. And like the way he drifts across to the right hand side, outside of Daly in some places, it's fucking great. Do all of that. It's fucking great. But just don't fucking go through an entire football without fucking running.
Your opportunity. Your opportunity is youth and inexperience in the middle. And by that I mean Mitch Kenny being out puts Luke Summerton in, who has been impressive in New South Wales Cup. But
why is he starting over fucking Luke?
Sorry?
Why is he starting over Luke?
I don't know. I don't know whether Sonny's out of favour.
I feel like he might be a bit, because I mean, you don't double down on Mitch Kenny FC if you like the other guy.
I think what they've doubled down on is reliability, and saying that, exactly like you said. Well, our offense is roll, spread the ball.
Yep.
So we would much prefer to have predictability that is, admittedly a little bit more boring than Appy in the middle.
Yep.
Rather than Sonny, who can create that spark out of dummy half, however, doesn't shore it up exactly like Mitch does, and has the odd error in him, and does maybe come in and out of games a little bit. But look, it could also be that it's close to the end of the season and they're just weighing up options next year. But this is a young guy. He's in a physical position, and if Manly are smart, they run at him all night and make him fucking work.
It's fucking crazy with the Kenny thing, because who else did they? The other one was, I guess it was Luai. I thought it was someone else in the forwards, but it went like, the line went from probably 19.5 to like 14.
Yeah,
like instantly.
Yep.
And the fucking and like the price went down, from like $9.50 to like $6. Like, so look, everyone smells the fucking ambush. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, who am I to go against the brilliant minds of fucking sports betting operations and artificial intelligence itself?
I was going to say
Seagulls by 10. Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you see the thing today that Sam put in the Facebook group saying that they've
been using AI for years,
using AI for years to write? There was a number attached, like, was it 3,000 or 300 or like some enormous amount of articles written by AI.
Can I tell you, the funniest bit about that article was all of these fucking dumb cunt journalists who think that people care about them.
Yeah, no.
Like, this will be that fucking gorgeous reality that they're not actually the fucking celebrities.
Yep.
The football players are what keeps the people reading your stories. The football players is what keeps the people tuning into your TV show, and it just so happens that you're fucking thinking, you're talking about them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The fucking downfall of mainstream media tickles the fucking cockles of my heart. Fuck all y'all.
Moving on to the Sharks taking on the Titans at Reclaim Australia Stadium. Hirotti's out, Hazelton's out, due to the HIA from the Thomas Burgess hit. Titans, Mo's out, obviously. Verrills and Isaac Fasul Malawi also out. So Jolliffe, Tino, and Cruz Leeming come in. This one, Sharks heavy favourites, deserve to be so. It's kind of weird, because it was just a flash. Like I don't feel like the Sharks have fixed. They haven't fixed their problems. Like they need to keep, doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
To get out of danger zone. I think that they're gonna, last week was a settler. It was in name value at least alone. It was a good opponent to get the win over.
Yep.
And it'd bring a lot of confidence to the side. I think. Show them the way forward. I don't think they'll have any problem with the Titans, for being honest.
No, that's it.
The Broncos take on the Eels at the Gabba. Jesse Arthur's out, Jockey Madden out, Corey Jensen and Wilson also out. So in comes Mariner, Reynolds, Riki, and Kobe Hetherington. The Eels side, what do we got here? So Miller Stevens out, Makatoa's out, Dejan Arce comes in, and Brendan Hands to the bench. This one, Broncos by fucking plenty.
Yeah.
This is it for the Eels. This is end of the line.
Yep.
Lose this one. Well, look, it's not quite the end of the line, but this is the one that probably puts them out of their finals misery.
Yeah.
If not mathematically, at least emotionally and spiritually.
Mate, I've got them finishing 9th on my ladder predictor.
Mm-hmm.
With the caveat, here's the caveat that the team above them that scrapes into the 8 is the Raiders.
Right.
On one more win than the Eels. However, with a terrible for and against.
Yeah.
So one different result either way, and the Eels scrape into 8th with a better for and against.
It's become abundantly clear though that 5, 6, 7, 8 this year, no matter who they are, is fucking cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And they get to smash each other up in the first week of the finals.
Yep.
But I don't see anybody out of the potentials, and that includes my side, that has a fucking ability to make a run if they get there anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, on this one we agreed Broncos by plenty.
Yep.
By plenty.
Yep.
The Broncos are much strengthened side. They get in Reynolds in there as well. I wouldn't have given the Eels a chance even if Reynolds was out, just based on the form that the Broncos displayed last week and just the general composure they had without him.
Yeah.
But Jockey Madden, they're doing a fucking great job of recycling West Tigers cast-offs. Broncos turning guys like, Billy and Jock Madden into these world beaters. Imagine what happens when we've actually got their best player next year, Manly and Brooksy. The fucking levels of unleashing. We've never seen this level of unleashing.
Man, and that's what the good sides do. Like, everyone's spoken about Bellamy taking plotters and turning them into above average contributors.
Yep.
That's
solid first grade players. Yeah.
That's not all the coach. A lot of that's also to do with the environment they're in, the teammates they've got, the energy on the field, how they train.
Yeah.
And the Broncos.
But that generally all comes down from the.
Yeah, it does, but there are other people involved in
it. Yeah. Okay, Rabbits take on the Dragons. This one's happening in Cairns. Munro, Thomas Burgess is obviously out. Cheekham's out. Tane Milne, Shaq Mitchell, and Jacob Host come in. The Dragons side lose Jack Bird, Zach Lomax, and murderous Frank Molo. They bring in Sully, Max Feedeye, and Toby Couchman. Big game for the Rabbits. I made the mistake of looking at the betting, and they are by far, well, not by far, but they are significantly the biggest, most favoured side of the week.
Yeah,
ahead of Penrith and then the Warriors.
You got to remember though, those odds are not necessarily given on how likely it is that a team will win the game. They are given on that, as well as a heavy fucking weighting to they understand who bets on what teams under what circumstances, and across multiple different games and rounds and sports and all of this shit. All of these algorithms fit together to make sure that gambling company doesn't lose money.
Correct.
So don't look at the fucking odds.
And I don't think they're going to lose money
No.
by paying out on the Dragons at $7. Let me fucking tell you. They're going to be paying out fucking barely better than bank interest, $1.10 for the Rabbitohs to anyone who bets on the Rabbitohs. And now it's going to any dumb cunt who puts money on the Dragons, they're just going to take that money, stick that straight in the pocket.
There you go.
I honestly like the Dragons have this weird sort of baseline to them that belies their position on the ladder. I mean, the last couple of weeks. I mean, you look at the records and you see like, you know, losses and, you know, but the story of those losses. I mean, like that Manly game, like, you know, it was a tight game and they had so many fucking completed sets in a row at the start in the first half of that game to put themselves in a position to be competitive in that game. I mean, they should have won last week against a much more heavily favoured side in the Eels, but they hadn't been fucked by the referee.
Yep.
The Rabbitohs aren't they're just not at their best. But this is one of those games where, look, if you're gonna go, you've got to start. They've got to start now, because they are one of the teams. They're in danger of dropping out of the 8. Lose this game, they could be out of the 8. Well, they will be out of the 8 probably this at the end of the round. So. Because that's the thing about the Rabbitohs as well. They're for and against. You know, Canberra being the real outlier there with the heavy negative differential.
Yep.
But you can, like the Eels and the Rabbits, and the Storms even, like and the Sharks, like they're for and against. They're all almost the same thing.
Yes.
You know, so it can really change from game to game for these guys.
This is what I'm saying. Every win matters. Every try, fucking every conversion
every
matters.
Margin, yeah, exactly. Okay, the Tigers take on the Warriors. They're playing in Waikato this time. The West Tigers, they are without Charlie Staines, Justin Matamua, and Itasi James. In comes Kapoa, Stefano, and Blore. The Warriors side, Nickel Cookstar out, and Tuapiki has coming in, and he's going straight into fullback.
Yep.
So, look, you can't go past the Warriors. Even scratchy, they've developed this basic, just the patience and the improved defense that they've shown this year. That shit as like a baseline, has given them the confidence and just the general stability, like emotional stability through the course of games when things get hard, that it's unleashed their creative guys to do their thing.
Yeah.
Like without fear.
It's like,
which is why
it's like the Warriors this season. It's like they maintain a readiness.
Yep.
In that they'll be there or thereabouts in a game, momentum shifts and all of that. Yep, that's fine. But then when an opportunity is presented, they're ready to take advantage of it.
Yep.
It's not those Warriors teams that old little, fumble opportunities or waste field position gifted to them. They're ready when it drops. I don't see them losing this game.
No, neither. And this one, if they win this one, it pretty much books them top 4 spot guaranteed. I mean, they're not going to be able to run down the top two sides, but look, they're going to cement themselves in the top 4.
Again, though. Like the ladder predictor shows, they end up 2 points behind. So Penrith and Brisbane end up on the same points.
Mm-hmm.
Penrith with almost double the for and against of Brisbane.
Yeah, right.
Because they are fucking legit pretenders with the softest draw in the history of the sport. And the Warriors end up 1 game back.
So that means Penrith and Brisbane both lose a game. But in the last couple of rounds.
I don't know. Oh, did I gift one to Manly just to see? Yeah, I did. Sorry, we're gonna beat you.
Unlucky Penrith.
So yeah,
you don't need it.
If Manly win, Penrith win it on for and against.
I don't think you'll double Brisbane in for or against, but I mean you got enough of a lead.
Well, at the moment,
really fucking fuck teams up. You got about 100 on them at the moment, but
they're 180. We're 301.
Yeah, what I've got here says that you're 277 and they're 160.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, sorry, I'm ladder predicting. We've got an extra 12 points every game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Where are we, Warriors? Okay, so Roosters versus Dolphins. This one's at Allianz Stadium. Nathan Brown is out. And we get the return of fucking Big Puppy.
Oh.
Fucking fucking punch your rings in, fucking finger your asses. Everyone fucking put a brown finger in the sky and welcome back. After, like, we'd never thought he'd come
Is
back
that
into first grade
2
again.
years?
It's been a long time since he was like, sort of brought in by the Roosters and never fucking, like with no intention of ever sort of bringing him into first grade, and no one ever thought they'd see him again. But I want everyone in the first minute of the game to finger their assholes and just raise a brown finger to the sky out of respect to the man. Throw some shadow punches. Be careful not to punch yourself in the face because you got that finger that you just had up your asshole, obviously. So,
stink palm yourself.
yeah. Wipe it on the person in front of you. And
you've turned into Sean Evans from Hot Ones here. Oh, just be careful around the eyes.
Yeah, careful. So the Dolphin side, Herman SASA's out. Ray Stone comes in. The hammer goes to centre, and they move Cody Nikorima to fullback. Cody Nikorima loves where he is, obviously, and he loves Wayne, and he was asked about what he thinks his best position is. And he said, my best position is wherever Wayne puts me. So,
Jesus Christ.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct answer, Cody. Correct. Now, look, the Roosters need to win this. I mean, they should win this.
They can't make the 8.
They can if they win all their games, but they got to win all their games. And there's one versus Souths in there as well. I think in the last round.
There's Souths. There's Parramatta. The South, Parramatta, and where the fuck are they? So I can't even see them there. So, then the Tigers. So they'll win that, and then they've got South's last round. So
can I say as an aside, I love it how after the events of last year, how the NRL go, fuck yeah, let's have East and South in the last week again. Because you remember last time, it was those games that was like fucking, it was brutal sin bins, fucking like, they ruined each other's season.
Yeah, 100%.
Based on that 100%. Last round game.
But even if they beat the Rabbits, and they will beat the Tigers.
And in this game, so if they win every game, they'll finish on 32 points, which should be enough.
If they beat Para as well,
yeah,
they finish in 7th.
Yeah. Like 32 points is enough if they can get that many.
Yeah. So you're right. It is possible, but
it's possible. But they're playing teams that are vying for the same position.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
Yeah,
so
it's
again,
tough.
Every fucking game matters. Every try matters.
Yep.
This is fucking great.
That's it. But back to this game. I mean, like it's the Dolphins. It's become really easy to write them off over the last couple of weeks, and then they come out and they nearly fucking jag the win against the team should beat them.
And on that,
you're telling me the Roosters are playing better than fucking Knights at the moment? No fucking way.
And on the same note, I don't think I've seen 2 stellar back-to-back performances from the Roosters all season.
Yeah,
they've had those games occasionally where they come in and I've seen them put more than one fucking stinker together.
Mm-hmm.
But they put these performances on. They're like, oh, okay, there it is. They've fucking figured it out. They've had a motivational speaker this week. They've come in and told them how to fucking, assume the win. And they've gone out there and done it. And then the next week they play like arse again.
Yep.
So
they got their buddy fucking Ashley MF Klein in the bunker.
Oh, there you go.
So anything that gets sent up is coming back down Roosters. But then they got Todd Smith, the torso, as the fucking on-field referee.
The only thing here is, and I'm not sure it's because being at home for the Roosters is any sort of advantage, because we all know they have 0 fans. However, it does take.
Did you know that in the report that came out I saw today, they have like the second highest average crowd?
Who's that?
Roosters.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, because all their fucking corporate sponsors give tickets away.
Oh, and it's because the other teams that they play have the fans. It's not the fucking Roosters fans turning up. I mean, look, we can fucking take a statistic and fucking
twist it,
flip it and reverse it.
It's too late to try and fucking
I know. I was wondering if you're going to do
make
it.
up some fucking.
I was gonna see if you're going to do the backwards bit. But...
Nah.
Oh fuck. Okay, let's just move on. The Roosters are going to lose that one. Fuck them. Fins up. Let's go. Jam rolls. The Storms that take on the Raiders. The Korean housewife in Melbourne. George Jennings, Jonah Pezzett, Tyron Wishart out. Xavier Coates, Jerome Hughes, and Bronson Garlick in. The Raiders side, Sebastian Chris is out. Ethan Strange comes in. And again, this is time for the Storm to show out.
Yeah.
What are they fucking doing? This is one of those games that puts Canberra lose, puts them on the precipice of being one of those teams that could slide out the back.
Yep.
Gives them something to get frightened about because they got shit for and against. Look, I don't think Canberra are good enough to be where they are. I don't think the Storm are as bad as they were last week. And I do think, and like you said, I mean, they look rudderless, and obviously Jerome Hughes was out of the side, which is, in 2023, a big out.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, is it?
What the fuck is going on with Justin Olam?
Yeah.
He got re-signed to a decent contract, I think circa $600,000 a year for 3 years, and he's fucking up in the sunny coast. Like, he's not injured, he's dropped.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, if the Storms want to take like fucking
half freight,
40-50% of that freight,
yeah,
I'll slide that cunt in fucking Manly any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
Who fucking knows? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Bellamy now hands off and whatever? Are they? Oh, fuck, I don't know.
And look, a Storm fan can probably tell us, that like they watch their team, more, with more interest on every single player.
With
and
a critical eye.
That's like, it. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, maybe he's been absolute dog shit. I don't know, but I mean, not that I've not so overtly that I've noticed, but
it always struck me that the beauty of Bellamy was that he knew exactly what he had in each and every one of his players, and he wouldn't ever ask them to do anything they weren't capable of.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe that there have to have been some instances where there have been expectations set for him, and he hasn't met them at an individual level.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you think like that alone, it's like he has to have fallen way short.
And then all it would take after that is the attitude not being what was expected in terms of bringing that right.
Yep.
And that's a really easy, but this is now the consequence of that.
Yep. I expect the Storm to bounce back hard in this game.
Fuck yeah.
Just, it's like the old, like the parent.
Yep.
The dad smacks the kid kicks the dog. In this occasion, the Raiders are the dog.
Weak gutted dogs too.
Yeah, get kicked, you green cunts. The Knights take on the Bulldogs in Newcastle. I swear to fucking God, these cunts play at home every week. Bradman Best is out, so Inari Tuala comes in. The Doggies are Harrison Edwards out, and they welcome back Luke Thompson, who I believe the Tigers are looking at for next season. Surely the Knights continue the run against the Doggies.
Yeah, they have to.
But having said that, the Knights, they're not good enough. They're having an excellent run, but they're not good enough that you can kind of just lock them in like a lot of sides.
I think you can lock them in against the Dogs.
Yeah, but then what if Sexy Boy has a worldie with fucking Birdo?
Yeah, still.
Look, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying it could.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I expect the Knights to win and keep the run going for a little while longer.
Yep. It's a good charge home they're making. And
and they've got an easiest draw out of all of them too. I think.
And out of all of those bottom of the 8 sides, they will go into the finals with probably the most realistic expectations on upsetting someone.
Yeah, you think that you would almost certainly lock them into beating whoever ends up against them in week 1?
Yep.
With some exceptions, like, if the Rabbitohs ended up against them in week 1, I'd still probably go Rabbits. But especially if the Rabbits do get into that sort of position, it means that they've taken out some of these other teams that they were in competition with for those same spots in the last couple of weeks. But no, I agree. I mean, still get the second week, get wrecked, but yeah, the run will keep going though.
Yeah, true.
For sure.
So they, well, and again, they've got the Dragons last round.
Mm-hmm.
So that would, again, if Manly do jag those couple of wins, that puts them up against Manly week 1 of the finals.
Nice.
So,
Love it. And then Manly have to, they win that game because they know that week 2 Tommy will be back
for 10 minutes. Yeah.
No, they'll play the game for 80 minutes. Just because we'll be up by so much at 10 minutes, there's no mercy rule in rugby league, mate.
There you go. So Panthers Warriors grand final.
Look, it's not the worst case scenario.
Well, that thing came into the DM today. Someone's put, what is it, 18 grand at $4 on a Panthers Broncos grand final.
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I hope that's the last fucking 18 grand that cunt had, and it puts him and his family on the street, and he has to prostitute his own children out to make ends meet because he deserves nothing less. See what happens when Glennie's not here?
And then,
we start talking about fucking fingering assholes and prostituting children, and
the first client's fucking Reece Walsh.
Kids love Reece Walsh. It'd be easy for them.
They're all the same size. Let's go. That's us.
All right, that's it. That's
We're done.
5:30. We're done. Thanks for listening. Some merch arrived, which we won't say what it is yet because the first crack at it's going to go to the Patreon members.
Yes. And it's fucking great.
Yeah, and I'd like it to be a surprise for them. So I'm almost like I want to put it's going to Patreon members. However, if you are not a Patreon member or if you're at a tier below the Patreon tier that gets them, we're going to have tons available for purchase as well. So you're going to have, well, not tons, but there'll be enough if you're quick.
And
so
I just want to put out there, patrons, we love you. And again, depending on the tier, this is fucking top tier merch. So depending on the tier you're on, you'll get one of these. Please don't be a cunt and ruin it for everybody by posting pictures of it. It's an complete fucking embargo. We will post the picture when we want the picture to be available for other people.
Yeah, because I'll be posting everything out. So when I see the tracking register as delivered on the last one, look, within reason. I mean, because there's some
delivery plus 24 hours.
Yeah, because Carson take fucking a month to get to him, and I don't want to embargo that long. But
no, fuck that. It's not everyone else's fault. He lives in fucking
Switzerland. Yeah, right. Anyway, but yeah, so what's going to happen is there's 2 variations. The top tier on Patreon is going to get one. The bottom tier is going to get the other, and then there's something else that's going to be coming out for the top tier as well. Because of the similar
a big diesel t-shirt.
Yeah, I think everyone wants a Big D's t-shirt. But yeah, so if you're not a Patreon member, never fear. This is a merch item that has been requested for a very long time, probably since fucking day one.
Yeah,
and it's happened.
Yep,
the Big Diesel's made it happen for us. So, yeah, this will be your one and only chance to get it. So when the opportunity comes, do not hesitate.
Don't get FOMO.
Yeah, because this is not like a Apple iPhone fucking situation. I mean, there's probably, after the patrons have had their turn, there's not going to be a huge amount. So be quick or be sad.
There you go.
Be Dylan Napa and just get on the piss in your lounge room and start shadowboxing. Finger your ass and wonder what may have been.
Beautiful. Fuck yeah. Well done.
Talk to you fuckers next week.
Later.